Okay, let's see if I am live. Okay, so give myself a few seconds because sometimes I don't know I'm live, but I am live. Okay, so it looks like I'm on. I just need someone to tell me whether you can hear me or not. I don't want to do that whole echo, echo, echo thing. So my friend Monica to come on and say whether she can hear me or not. I know it takes a few minutes sometimes to kind of catch up, so we shall see. Okay, let's see here. Awesome. Thank you, Monica. Okay, great. So it sounds good. You guys can kind of see and hear me. Okay, so last week we finished the Empress tote and I made it to a crossbody bag. And I wanted to show you guys the finished bag. So this is the finished bag. I made my crossbody with waterproof canvas. I don't know if I'm thrilled with that. I kind of like the softness of the seatbelt webbing, but at the same time, it always slides on me. So this might be the best option. So inside, we have our zipper pull with stitch, our stitch fabric, and then we have our magnets to kind of have it all. And I added these side connectors, kind of like we did on the Emu bag. Hello, Shanova. And then here's the comparison of the original Empress tote. So this is the original Empress tote to its original size. And then this is my crossbody version at 75%. So it's a really nice size bag. I like small bags, not too small because I need to be able to put my Trisco wallet in there. Because I don't think I'm going to be retiring that wallet anytime soon. It's my favorite wallet ever. And Nicole, I actually commissioned Nicole to make it for me because I was having such a hard time with the pattern. I get it now because she helped me with it, but I just paid the expert to make it for me. So that's the comparison on the two, so you can kind of see how it compares this size to this size. I like the 75%. I think I'm going to try it again with vinyl maybe this time and not waterproof canvas and no piping. So we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna just make a cute cosmetic bag, literally cut it and quilt it and sew it with you guys on the live today. I had tons of scrap pieces left over from the kits that I made for the kids at the KdsRKids camp that I did a couple weeks ago. So I'm literally just gonna go through my scraps and just make a scrappy cosmetic bag. So these are like the little odds and bits that I had left over. They weren't quite big enough for anything else, but I like the colors and everything. So I had gotten them mostly to match all together. So we'll see. I really like the idea of making the half square triangles, or maybe just little square ones. Not sure yet. I'm just gonna kind of wing it and kind of go with it. So I like the green. I like the lemon, the limes, because for me it really just screams summer. So I like that. I'm gonna put those down. I'm gonna put two of those, two of the lime green colors, and then maybe two of these fun polka dotted ones that kind of go green, but it softens it up a little bit. I think I like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. And if I wanted to, I can go red. I don't really think I have much that's blue. No. But I have a lot of the green left over, so I like that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I want this one on the outside or not. This cosmetic bag seems to get a little dirty sometimes, so I may not do this one. I don't know. I kind of like it. Choices, choices, choices. I don't think I have any more of this lime. I was like, because if I had a little bit more of the lime, then I could do just the lime in this. Let me double check. Because I do have some left over that I had literally sold out from. Ah, perfect. I got some. Yeah. Okay. I got some more lime. Okay. We were making pot holders yesterday in class. So, okay, so I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to have 4 of the limes and 4 of these dotted greens to kind of go together. I think that looks cute. All right, that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm literally just going to stack and then cut them all at once to make them into smaller squares. I really like the look of a pieced quilt. So I really want it to make it look pieced together. I think originally these are close to being 8 by 8 inch squares. So I like that. These and these. Yeah, I think I'm going to do my little half square triangle because I really like the way that looks. So let's do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to pin around so it all stays together, and I am going to kind of grab this together. So if you have squares that are 5 by 5 or 6 by 6 or anything like that, you can use that as well. For this like half square triangle fancy little thing that I'm about to do, it does need to be square. It cannot be a rectangle. It has to be a square for it to work. You could use clips, but for I don't know what it is about quilting. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I've got like a frog in my throat. When it comes to quilting, I personally like using pins. Same thing with garment making. I like to use pins. With bag making, I like the little clips instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the way around at 1/4 of an inch. If you don't know what that is on your machine, you could take a ruler and mark that out for yourself. Like so. You could make that mark all the way around. I know it's kind of light, so you guys can't really see it all that well, but there we go. But I am just going to pretty much be consistent all the way around. So my thoughts on quilting are, if you are consistent, it's okay if it's not a quarter of an inch, as long as you're consistent. So that's what I'm going to be working with today. I'm just going to be using the side of my pressure foot lined up, and that's very close to my quarter inch. And I'm starting kind of here because I want to go all the way around and kind of meet up to it. And when you're stitching things together, I always suggest using at least 2.5, maybe 2 stitch lengths. I'm using a airfill thread. And I also changed my needle size to a size 10 needle. So I changed my needle size, I changed my thread. I also changed the bobbin thread as well. It's also airfill. I think I'm saying that right. Airfill. This was a variegated one, and I put that in the bobbin because I didn't have quite enough to do maybe the whole piecing with it. So, but I wanted to make sure that I used it up because there wasn't much left, but I went. So. Hi, Muriel. How are you today? My sister's flying in from Lehigh Acres on Saturday. So she's driving over to Fort Lauderdale to catch a direct flight because it's just more convenient that way than it is to go get a flight from Fort Myers, because Fort Myers is just, there's never a direct flight and it's super expensive. But she canceled her plans with me a couple weeks ago, so I was like, oh no. Well, I'm so happy that you are full and happy. Okay, so now that I've done that, okay, so now I can go ahead and cut it into my half square triangle. So I'm going to go from corner to corner, match it up, and then cut across. Okay, and put this down right on top, corner to corner. I like to make sure everything kind of stays back where it was, just in case it shifts just a little bit. But most importantly, it's just going corner to corner. And then this is what we're left with. We're left with these little half square triangles. So if you wanted smaller triangles, then you can make smaller squares. And I'm going to show you that actually right now because I wanted to show you how it's just magic, really. It's just magic. So I'm just opening it up, and it really doesn't matter which side the seam is going because there really isn't a light side. Usually if you had a light and a dark side, you would want to press towards the dark side. But if both fabrics are the same, then it's okay. So look at that. So you could kind of go like that with it, right? Or I almost like to make like a diamond shape. that's just my preference. So the idea is that I'm trying to make a piece that is finished 12 by 12. So it's like if I almost did that, then that would be very, very close. But I want to make small ones. I want to make little tiny things. Got an idea. I'm trying to see if I go like this, sew around, and then cut, if that open it, if that would do anything. Don't know till you do it, right? You don't know till you try. Let's go for it. I don't have anybody here talking me out of it, so haha. My friend Dee was supposed to be here today, but then she forgot she had a doctor's appointment. So she'll be here tomorrow. It's not because I didn't want her back. She's always welcome back. We had fun. We had fun last week. Okay, and here, it's really gonna get my corners. Nice. What's the worst that could happen? I have to cut them again? That's all right. Live on the wild side. That's nice. Now I'm trying not to pull too much on these sides because it is on the bias, so it can distort it. Where I see like a little bubbling, I'm just gonna put a pin. That looks good. All right, let's see what that looks like. You don't know till you try. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna probably be clearing my throat a lot. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. After I was sick this last time, just haven't gotten back to 100% yet. I've been like very nasal and everything lately. Do not run over pins. They are pedestrian. That's my motto in my classes. The lawn people are here again today. I guess we're getting ready for the fall because the grass is really not growing right now because there hasn't been raining like crazy. Well, I guess it kind of did this weekend. But I wasn't here. I was in Wilmington spending time with the kiddos because I will be working for the next close to 2 months. 5 nights a week, and sometimes even weekends. So my opportunity to see the kids is going to be a little less frequent. It's not what I had hoped for, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so now I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here to here, and then see what happens. Because if I go like this, it's just cutting again where it was before, so it doesn't make any sense. Then I'm just going to go diagonally and see what happens. So maybe I only needed to do 2 sides. I don't know. Ooh, it's like a little pocket. Okay, and then I can seam it one side. I started a Bargello quilt like a year ago, and I still haven't finished it. That thing is intense. I don't think it'd be that bad if it wasn't literally for like a California king size bed. Oh goodness, look at that. That looks super cute, guys. Doesn't that look cute? It looks almost like a starburst. Let's see, we'll see. Okay, so if I open up this side, yeah, because then that way this will be over here. If half square triangles are not your thing, you can always do little charm pack squares. Actually, it's a very good idea for beginners. But I think this one gives you a little bit more leniency because you're able to just kind of like make things like magically happen by sewing and then seam ripping. Ooh, look at that. So maybe I should have done the other side. But that's kind of neat. Kind of neat. Let's see what happens. Like these. Let's see if maybe we can do it without having to seam rip something. So if I cut through here, so one side can cut. That should work. Okay. What I'm trying to do here is just nest my seams just so that they lay nice and flat on top of each other. And just finger press it. So what I'm going to do is just do 2 sides. Just do 2 sides of it, cut it, and then see if that has the same effect of what we did here without having to seam it. And be very careful with those bias seams. And even though I'm not sewing over here, I still want to hold the fabrics together so that when I cut, it doesn't shift. I'm gonna sew it here. The quilting is what's gonna be fun. Well, hello. Let's see who's messaging me. Oh, okay. Okay. So I cut there. Let's see. I think I took those pins out a little prematurely, but we'll see. Oh, look at that! That's fun. Yes. So just an L shape on the opposite sides of this that makes it. So see, that one goes like that, right? And then this one goes like that. So I can take this one and put it on this one. It does get very bulky in the center here because of all of the intersections. So it does get bulky there. Ooh, it's turning out better than I thought. Yes, apparently we did have some storms this weekend, and it did rain pretty bad, or a lot here in the Raleigh area. But down in Wilmington, it didn't. In Wilmington, it was pretty dry. We had a couple of days where it was kind of overcast a little bit and a little bit drizzly here and there, but not really all that much. So we found the place. We found a place to rent. We found a house to rent in Wilmington. My husband did an amazing job finding it. So move-in date is approximately October, middle to early to mid October is what we're thinking. The landlord is still fixing it up. So there's a few things on the punch list that have to be done. But we're really not in a rush because I'm not leaving here till November, so it's really fine. Sierra's doing great in school. And Junior is doing great at his sewing. All is well. So right here it's going to get kind of bulky, so I have to just kind of hold that down, and you could just use a stiletto or something to hold that down as you sew over it so it doesn't pop up on you. And I'm literally going to what's called chain piece. It's just going to go from one piece to the next without breaking my thread. That just helps conserve some thread. There we go. Oh, look at that. It looks like a beautiful little pinwheel. That's so awesome. So it's kind of bulky right there, so I'm going to try to take some of that bulk out of there. Because once we do the quilting, it's also going to add more bulk, and you really don't want too much bulk with it. Oh, that's much better. My points are not perfect. This is where, like, the points where most quitters are like, oh, no, it's not perfect. It's okay. No problem. It's no big deal. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just leave this here for a second. I'm going to pop over the iron in just a minute to really, like, make it flat. I need 2 rectangular pieces in order to make this quilted cosmetic bag. So I think I'm going to do is add some longer strips to one side just to make it look more rectangular. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, let's do that one. I'm just taking away some of these, like, what they call dog ears in between here. So it just takes away some of that bulk. Oh goodness, look at that one, almost perfect. See how they're all meeting up there? Oh, that turned out really nice. That's like a pop your collar kind of moment. Okay, so this seam here, just for bulk's sake, I'm going to just press this open. Okay, so grab this mat, put this down. I'm going to double layer it. It's waterproof and everything, but just in case, I don't want the heat going into my mat because my mat will start like to do some bowing and stuff. So I love these little quilting mats. They're perfect for on the go, next to your machine, next to your table. And all it is, oh, it's not even hot because it's not even on. All that it is a ironing mat you put on top of a washer dryer set. And so it works really well for ironing on the go. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get that to heat up on me. Okay, that should be nice and warm now. Yes, better. Not really trying to like push on it too much. Nice dry iron. There we go. So where it's kind of landing right now, just make it not be so bold. You want to have this as flat as possible because it's just going to make it easier when you go to quilt it. Okay, so that's nice and flat now compared to that. So see, this is the one we pressed, this is the one we haven't pressed. So that. To that side. Press it. Okay, and that one's pressed. And so put the iron to the side. Like this, put it to the side. No heat transfer. That's awesome. Okay, so now it's very close to the same size that this was going to be. So I think I'm going to take this piece, cut it in half, and then add a piece on either side so it makes more of a rectangle. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for more of a rectangular piece. Okay, so let's do that. Strip one of these pieces. So one there and one there. So this was 8 inches. I'm going to cut it down to 4 2-inch pieces. Okay. Put it there. Put it there. Then we have more of a rectangular piece. Alright, grab this piece. And again, we're just going to chain piece it together. There. That one off. I'm gonna do one more piece over here. I guess it would have been nice if it was a different color. That would have been kind of cool. Almost like a sashing in between it. It's alright. This is why a lot of quilters have design walls. So we can kind of see how fabrics go together and audition them. This is a fun concept. Yes, got it. I was having problems with my close vision when I was wearing my contacts or my glasses. So threading a needle was a bit of a challenge until recently. Okay, come on, buddy. Sometimes it doesn't want to go through that thread. That's okay. I can start. Compared to the thread that I use for bag making, this is like very dainty. It's very dainty. Not over there. Just making sure it's not tangled anywhere. Okay, that works. I'm not sure what happened, but hey, stranger things have happened. So there we go. Now we just need to cut it, like press it and then cut it to the size that we're looking for. So now that we did that, I think I want to add a strip here, a strip here, just wider. I'm just gonna keep adding to it until we get to the size I want. I think because that's gonna be too big, too small of a bag, just this size. I think like a 8 by 10 or a 6 by 10 would probably work really well. When we finish the dimensions of the quilted pieces, I'll let you know what we come up with. So right there, it kind of like caught a little weird. Take these stitches out and redo the beginning of this one. It's just not right. Okay. I'm just like puckered kind of weird. Make sure it's low, I'm gonna put it under the press protect. Okay. Right. That looks good. We'll just keep adding to it. All right, let's keep adding to it. Elbow. Get love and love. Okay. Right. So now let's cut this up so we can make it as wide as we can. If you ever want to just grab a piece and just quilt it, it doesn't have to be pieced in order to quilt. You can quilt without piecing. I'm just piecing it just because I wanted to do something fun and different. I'm sure you could do it. Perfect. See that? So that's a nice rectangle, but I want it to be a little bit wider because once I put the zipper here and the zipper here, right, and then I put it together, I guess it'll always be that little diamond thing. But anyway, when I put it together, I want to have it a little wider so that I can, what you call it? So that I can, because I have to box it out as well. So when I do the boxing out, I want to make sure that it doesn't take away from, the square footage inside the bag. So let's see. It's not quite large enough. So I want one long piece on either side of that. Oh, I know. Do some yellow. Yeah, some yellow. No. Ooh, I got it. Oh, but that's not the same. All right, let me see what I can find. Because I do have some extra pieces that are longer than they are. I don't think this is going to quite work because it's not the same color palette. Solid. Oh, that's so much better. Let's go for sure. Okay, so if I do this one. Oh, perfect. So if I cut that in half, it will be just enough to put on the other side. And I don't want it on both sides. I just want it here where the zipper is going to go. Okay. So right now this is measuring 6 3/4 by 9 3/4. So if I add an inch here, late arrival. What are you making? And did you make the? Yes, I did make the pinwheel box inadvertently, but yes, I did. I was just making half square triangles, and then it ended up being. I'm sorry, it ended up being pinwheel blocks. See, kind of cool, huh? I am making a cosmetic zipper pouch. Just having fun with it, really, just seeing what happens. So if I put that and that together, it's still a rectangle, but it's got a little bit more dimension. So I like that. All right, that's what we'll do. So my pinwheel block started off with 8-inch squares, and then I sewed all the way around, and then I cut it diagonally, and then I sewed those together, and then cut it diagonally again, and then I got pinwheel blocks. So it was fun. Okay. So now all I'm doing is just adding it to one of each of the sides so that I can make it sashing, and then this will be the bottom of the bag, but then this will be where the zipper is going to go. I'm just making it up as I go, really. I was working with a Bargello quilt forever in the day, and I just thought this would be something fun to do. That's not as I don't know. Structured, I guess? I just wanted to do fun. I just wanted fun. I'm happy you made it, Laura. I enjoy doing a lot of different types of sewing. I'm actually finishing up 2 t-shirt quilts this week for a client that gave them to me in the beginning of the summer. And she knew it wasn't going to be exactly like a quick turnaround because I've got camps and everything else was going on. And I kept her informed, like, staffing changes and different things like that I had different responsibilities I had to take care of. And so she was fine with it. She's actually a repeat customer. She's been with me for goodness, like the 5th quilt that I've made for her and her family. Oh, that's gonna be super cute. Okay. I'm gonna do the upwards. I know I just did. So she's right. She's awesome. And I'm actually doing a t-shirt quilt class at the Sewcation in Orlando with Sew Bestie. I actually just reserved my room for me and my friend Monica. She's coming down to help me. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm just squared up. Okay, and one more. Hey, here we go. Bam, bam. Now time to quilt. So if you had just rectangular pieces and you wanted to quilt this, you could. You don't have to have it pieced like this. Just to let you guys know, you could do it without piecing. I just thought it would look really cute with it being pieced. Something different. I don't know. Let's see what it comes out to look like. All right, so I'm gonna get my phone. Okay. Cut this in half. You could do this with batting, you could do it with foam, whatever you have lying around that's scrappy, because this has been sitting around forever. As you can tell, like this is like the edge that got like sun on it forever in the day, and that's not going to harm anything really. So now I'm gonna go and put this down like that. Oh, this is so much fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just pin this down. You can use a basting spray, but if it's just a small piece, I don't feel it's absolutely necessary. Just kind of pin around a lot. I'm not going to do free motion quilting, but if you were to do free motion quilting, it's very important that you drop your feed dogs in order to do it, so that way you're not running into the problem of constantly having broken threads. So I've just pinned it just freely. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do, it's called shadow quilting, I guess. Is it just on either side of all these lines, I'm just going to quilt. That's all I'm going to do. Oh, and if you were doing free motion quilting, you would need to switch over to a darting foot or free motion quilt foot. So this one's meant to go with templates and stuff like that. But it's just important to know which shank you need. Sometimes you need a higher one, so you can just adjust the level of it, versus this one's a little harder to adjust because it's so narrow. So just kind of note which one you have to have. Usually it is a high shank one, so you have to take off this screw and replace the entire foot from the ankle down, not just the bottom. Okay, that's what we got here. Right, and I'm going to increase my stitch length to about a 3.5. And the whole idea with quilting is that you're not taking it on and off, like you're doing a continuous stitch, so that you're not having to take it on and off. One more stitch to get me a little bit closer. Oh yeah. So when you're doing this, it's just important to know that when you're stopping and pivoting, just make sure your needle is down all the way. Also, when you are stitching, try to keep a straight line. Get a point of reference on the foot and on the fabric, so that way you can keep that point of reference while you're sewing. And this would also help you with your top stitching. So if you struggle with top stitching your bags, then this is a very good way to help you do that, because it helps you keep the point of reference as well as keep a nice straight line. Just to make sure that I can see any comments that pop up. Darn. That's the only bad thing about cotton thread. Sometimes they do get temperamental and snap on you. Now I have a brand new needle, so just To let y'all know, I have a brand new needle, so it's not because I need a new needle. It's literally probably because I just pushed too hard while it was in the middle of a stitch and it just snapped. Yeah, that's what happened. All right, so just go back to where you were. Go back like by 2 stitches and then go again. This one down here is not really as crucial because I'm just traveling from one end to the other. That's all I'm doing. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, and even though I have already stitched over here, I'm going to go ahead and go back down over the existing stitches, or as close as I can so that I can come across this way. Oh, it was a little frustrating. I pulled that right out. I've had it through and then I pulled it out. So at least my vision is getting better because 2 weeks ago I could not see this needle to thread it. And that was even with like the thicker needles with the thicker threads. I still couldn't thread it. I was having such a hard time with my close-up vision, but it is getting better. Did pull a little. That's okay. I am noticing that on my corners, I am getting a lot of eyelet, as well as skip stitches. So there's that. Now I'm going to go around and just baste the quilt, the quilt the based on the piece onto the foam. And this is purely just for us, just to keep everything together as one piece. It's not decorative. It's just to keep everything together. I'm trying to see what I can do to the tension to make it just a little bit better. Okay. There we go. Okay. So you can kind of see a little bit of the eyelet right there where it's pulling. The thread is pulling away from the corners. It's kind of skipping a little bit. I'm not really sure why that's happening, but it's not a big deal for me right now. But if that's happening to you and you want to take the stitches out and try it again, you can. I'm not really sure why that's doing it. So let me start with the center out and see if that helps with quilting this all together. Oh, hello. There's throwing pins. Throw pins. Ooh. See, I just noticed it there. Okay. And I went back into it. And then I didn't skip that stitch. Right. See, there it goes again. I'm trying to see if I do a back stitch, if that kind of helps. Not really sure. Now I changed to stitching in the ditch. Why? I don't know. It seemed like fun. I guess less stitching. You just make a funny noise. It did for a second there, but it looks pretty good so far. Okay, and then come back to where we started. Okay. Pretty good. Got one little stitch that I need to finish right here. Okay. Okay. Just gonna tack that down on the side, and then we can go ahead and assemble our zipper pouch. Cosmetic bag. Okay. Here we go. So now we can cut these two pieces off of the batting and then make our zipper pouch. So what we're going to need is we're also going to need two pieces for the lining that are going to be the same size. So but what I like to do for this, there we go. Boom. Perfect. So this here is going to be the same size roughly when this is done. So I'm just going to trim this up. And if you cut at an angle, it takes the bulk away from the sides as well. It just helps reduce some of that bulk on the side of the pieces. There we go. Awesome. So just like that. We're going to put our zipper on each side. I am just going to use a basic number 5 zipper. And I'm going to cut it to the sides, just a little bit over. Put that down. And I'm going to sandwich it. So I'm going to sandwich it between both my pieces. You could do this as one step or two steps. I am going to do it as one step, so I'm just putting down. I'm sorry guys, I keep bumping this. So I put this piece down, and then I'm going to grab this piece. And I can make it to the same size here shortly. I just want to kind of go. But overall, this is a 9 by 7.5 piece. So 9 by 7.5 tall. Just like that. And you're going to sew this down. So I'm going to, yeah, I think from this end, I can kind of feel my zipper a little bit better this way. If I wasn't using a number size zipper pull, I would switch over to a zipper foot. But because I'm using a number 5 zipper, it's got the wider zipper tape, so I can just sew right next to it and align it with my zipper. I'm sorry, without the zipper foot. Okay. So now I can take it and trim it down. I don't want to trim down too much, but I want to make it the same size. There we go. Yep, that's good. Okay, so there's one side. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. And so if you are going to do any top stitching at this point, you're going to probably want to do it so that the bulk goes in. I'm not going to top stitch it all the way down together, these two pieces together, because at that point I'm going to be able to separate it in order for it to be two separate pieces. Let's do that. So this piece is just a little bit smaller than the other ones, because I'm trying to get it as centered as much as I can. Just a little bit more over. There we go. Okay. Up. I almost put that on the wrong side. Did you see that? I've done it. I have done it in the past. Okay. So let's do Okay. This side is lined pretty well. Okay. Okay, let's put the zipper pull on now before I forget. That would be dangerous. It would be very, very dangerous. I got our zipper pull. To do all that hard work and then not have a zipper pull, that would not be good. Okay, zipper pull is on. Okay, so we are going to need to put a little tab. Okay. This. So we're going to need to put our zipper tab right in here where the zipper is going to go, so that way when we need to hold on to it, to unzip it and zip it, we can do that. So I'm just going to literally do that with a piece of webbing. And that's about 2.5 inches by 1 inch. Fold it in half. Put it over where the zipper teeth are. So then that way you can zip it in. Clip it, clip it. Like, why are my clips just open? Okay, so we're going to stitch that down in place so that it doesn't move on us. If you wanted to, you could do one on either side. I'm just doing one. Okay. Okay, so stitch that on, and then I want to do corners on each one of these two sides. Little boxy corners. I'm just stitching it on the zipper. I'm not stitching the lining. I'm just stitching the webbing onto the zipper. Just to baste it in place so that it doesn't move on us while we're doing other things. Nice and slow over the teeth. And I broke a needle. I broke my needle. Okay. I don't know where it went, but I did break it. Because it's no longer there. Oops. Okay, so throw that one away. I'm going to put in my thicker needle. This needle here should be able to go through all the bulk without any problems. You do want to have a thinner needle when you're working with cotton and you're doing any type of piecing and quilting. You want your needle to match the density of the project you're making. So, for example, if you are making a vinyl bag or whatever. Afternoon, Melissa, then you're going to want to change your needle out to something thicker. And then if you're working with something thinner, then you have a thinner needle. Okay, so now we've done that. So we've put that there. I'm trying to see if I find my lighter, because I did have a lighter over here. Yes, last week. And I was doing my bag. It's okay. All right, so now we're going to cut out squares. Okay. Now the squares can be whatever you want it to be. I'm going to cut it out of all of the layers at once. That way I don't have to try to do it differently. And I'm just pushing that down and holding it just so that all the layers are together. So that when I'm cutting the exterior, the lining comes along with it. Okay, so I think I want to do, I think a 1.5 by 1.5 inch square would be great. Maybe 2 by 2. Yeah, let's do 2 by 2. No. Yeah. Let's do 1.5 by 1.5. I'm marking out this one. And I did not mean to put that clip there. 1.5 by 1.5. Okay. Okay. I'm going to cut those out. You can use a rotary cutter or you could use scissors. I'm just going to use my scissors because I don't want to overcut by mistake. Remember, if you need to, measure twice, cut once. Just to make sure. Once you cut it, you can't put it back. Now, can you make the other ones match it? If one's bigger than the other one? Yes, you could do that for sure. Okay. So 1.5 inch square. Okay. Now, take this and we are going to sew each of the sides together and then do our box. Clip, clip, clip. I'm trying to see what kind of shape I'd get if I did this. I mean, it's different, but that's not a lot. Okay, so now we're going to go these two pieces together and those two pieces together. Um, something different that used to be. I'm trying to audition it. Hold on. I've been experimenting this whole day, so just go for it. No harm, no foul. Okay, so I do that, and then I do this. I think it's like a long tube. Definitely not what I'm wanting. Okay, so open up your zipper so that we have access to get inside. And then we're going to zip right along. If you wanted zipper tabs here, you could do zipper tabs. That way. We are going to be leaving an opening, and you could do the opening either at the bottom or on the side. I think I'm going to do mine on a side, just so that it looks a little better. A few moments later. So, if it's not lining up the way you want it, make it line up. You're the boss of the fabric. Sometimes the bulkiness of the exterior doesn't pull on the lining, so you have to just kind of manipulate it a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to leave this open here. So I'm going to start here, go over, and then do my boxy corners. Pick it up. And I'm doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance. My bobbin is doing something weird. I think it happened. It came out of the tension disc area, which can be problematic. Here we go. Just making sure. Just making sure everything's back where it needs to be. Much better. Much better. Okay, going over the zipper can be a little bit of a challenge. So just take your time, go nice and slow. If you need a hump jumper, you can get a hump jumper. Because you're essentially going from a really thin to a thickness, so going up that hill can be problematic if you don't know how to go through the boat. Because the hump jumper is very helpful in this situation. Now going downhill is not as problematic as it is going uphill, but we do have a lot of extra bulk here because of that binding. So just be mindful of that. And you're nice and slow. I am going to need a hump jumper. If you don't have a hump jumper, you can literally take some foam or some fabric or something, put it underneath the foot on the back, just to kind of level out that floor. And if you have to hand crank, there's no shame in it. These are things that we have to account for when we're working with a domestic versus like a walking foot industrial. Something right there. Make it go past it just a tiny bit. Broke another needle. Seriously? And I hand cranked it. It was coming to the part where I was going to turn it out through there anyway, but I still need to go grab it up anyway. I found it. I found it. I keep needles close by. And this is a heavier duty needle, and it's still like snapped. I did not like that binding, not that binding, that webbing with the zipper teeth. I didn't like it. I was like, no! There we go. Okay, we're right here. Literally doing the last couple of stitches just to make sure it's reinforced. so that when I go to turn it inside out through that hole, it's not breaking on me. Okay, so now we're going to do our boxy bottom. We should be close to being done, guys. And that's perfect timing because Miss Hillary will be here at 2:30 to help me with the t-shirt quilt. Yay! T-shirt quilt. Boxing up my bottoms. Just grabbing each corner, opening it like the potato chip bag. Okay. So those are boxed. Now to do our exteriors. That one I'm probably going to have to clip just so that everything stays what it needs to be. So I don't have to do it with the lining because the lining is pretty thin. I can just kind of manhandle it. But with the foam in this quilted piece, it's a little thick. And with it being thicker, it does want to shift and kind of like move out the way a little bit. Okay. So now we're going to go through our opening and pull out our exterior first and then my lining. See what I said about that? Like it was going to pop and I knew it was going to pop. It was kind of wasn't quite stitched the way I wanted it to be stitched. With the little guy right there. Just holding on to that guy. There we go. Guys, that is super cute. You can kind of see a little bit of my problem with that was just my top stitching. My quilting, it wasn't necessarily that. I can take that out. Those are not stitches that hold everything together. Oh goodness, look at that. That's a super cute little bag. And hold on to it. Isn't it cute? Okay, so now I know for next time, put a bottom piece down here so the pin doesn't get lost into the bottom of the bag. But you don't know until you try. Isn't that super cute? Oh goodness, that's super cute. Okay guys, that's all we have today. Quilted cosmetic bag. You can make this out of pretty much anything. It's a very simple zipper pouch, but it's box bottom, and it's quilted, and it's pretty. And I like this little tab, this little here. It was pretty bulky, so I can say that if you're working with a domestic, maybe don't don't use webbing. Maybe you should use a piece of fabric that you fold over a couple times and make that tab, that little handle, rather than using webbing, because it did break 2 needles. Okie dokie. That's all we have. So for anybody who came in late, just wanted to show you guys really fast the finished Empress tote that I converted to a crossbody. Isn't that cute? So this is the original size. This is the 75%. And then I just did the little side tab and riveted on, just like the emu bag. Cute, huh? I thought it's cute. I think it's cute. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on over and watching me. Let's see what else we can get into next week. I'm testing for Tori this week as well, so I've got to get that bag tested for her. I've already got almost everything cut out. So I won't be recording that. It is cute at 75%. It's cute little dainty. And you know, like I said, I can fit my Triskel in it really well. Let me show you. Because I have that on here. So the problem I have with this particular bag is I have to kind of like put it in and slide it in. But this is my Triskel wallet, and it's very loved. It's very worn. This is the Triskel wallet that Nicole over at Sonar made for me. I bought it from her. I get a creative freedom. I chose about the color palette that I liked, and she did the rest. But it's worn very, very beautifully. It's not cracking or anything. Some of the edge paint's coming off, but I think that's because, again, the way I take it in and out is a problem. So that fits in there nicely now. I don't have to see that in and out. In and out. Not any problems. That's what I was looking for. So that's a really cute size for the Empress. I'm going to try it again, but next time just out of vinyl and no piping, and see how that works. And then I'll let you guys know, this is a 1.5-inch ring, and I kind of wanted to use the big ring because I wanted the side to keep it structured. So I did that on purpose. You could use a smaller D-ring. You don't need to have the 1.5-inch ring to go with the 1.5-inch hardware. You don't need that, but I just wanted it to kind of keep its shape on the side just a little bit more. But it's super cute. It's going to be a great crossbody bag. And yeah, so thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week from 12 to 2 for another Sew and Chat video. Bye.